Hi and welcome to this video. Today we're going to be looking at images. So I've got my Visual Studio Code open. I've got my File Explorer open. I've got the basic startup code ready to rock and roll. I've just changed the title to images. And then I've got my live screen open. As you can see, it's got images in the tab. Obviously we haven't created no content yet, which we're going to move on to now. So just to start with, I've got some images in this folder that we're going to be using in this example. So these will be available. So if you want to follow along with this video, then just get a copy of these. But I'm going to close that down for now, just to give me some more space. So as I said before, I've got my startup code ready there, and I'm going to start by putting an image on the screen. Okay, so I'm actually going to create a H1 header, and inside that I'm going to put HTML5 logo, and we all should know what this logo looks like. So to display an image, we use the image tag. Now this is a non-closing tag because it doesn't contain any content, because everything we put is inside the attributes. So the file that I showed you in that list before I close it down, I actually have the HTML5 logo.png in there. So what we do is we use the source attribute to relate to the file, and HTML5 logo, and you need to put the PNG in as well. And then as you can see, it's showing up on the left here, that image, so I know I've typed it in correctly. Remember, case sensitive and all that. So let's see, give that a save. Obviously here I've typed this in wrong. It's supposed to be src, but if I hadn't noticed that, another thing you can do is use the alt attribute. So if you're having a problem to load a file, you can just give it a brief description in here of what it is. If I save that, and obviously, so it can't load this file. So what it does as an alternative is just puts this, whatever you give this alt attribute. So on the screen it's got a failed image to say it's broken, and then the text I'll put in. So you know that it is running this command or this tag element, but there's an issue. And obviously we know what the issue was, because I just said I'll spelt that wrong, the source wrong. So it's src. I'll do it again, and I always type that wrong. So, bam, there we go. It's displayed the HTML5 logo. So, the alt attribute will come into place if it couldn't find the source in any way. Now, one other thing you can do inside HTML, remember CSS is your main area for creating styles to these things, but one thing you can do inside here is give it a width. So let's say I want to change it 200 pixels. Let's save. So obviously shrunk a bit down, so it always loads straight away the file size you've created, so then you can play around with it. So if I banged in an 800, boom, gets a bit distorted because it's only a PNG. I'll put back down to 200. You can also use the height attribute. So if we give that 200 again, pixels. So there you go. So if I give it 400, obviously it's starting to distort now, because that's not, it will just start pulling it after a while. I tend to only use one of these. I either use the height or the width. So because we put a width in, if we just get rid of that width and use a height, okay. So then when we stick in our file 600, say, it will then style it with a width and a height and keeping it in the same style. So I use either width or height when I'm doing this, just so you don't start getting it distorted, because you want to keep it in the same shape as a file. Or if you start pulling it and it starts stretching, it looks terrible. So let's just keep the height there at 200. That's exactly what we want. So that's your first image. Straightforward, really. It's not difficult. And if we did another image straight underneath, let's just copy that one. I'll save that. So it saved it straight to the right. So the images works a bit different to all the other elements, and that is just plonked it straight to the right hand side. And then you can just put more images you want to. Eventually I'll scroll down, but we only want that one. I only want the one. So I've cut that out. I'm going to go back to the one image. There you go. So I'm just going to put in a horizontal rule here, just to divide up the bits we're doing. So the next thing you can do is you can actually get images from other websites. So if we open the image tag again, and if we change the source this time, obviously spelling it correctly, we put in HTTP, you have to use this HTTPS, and then we go to the w3schools.com website, and they have an images file. They've got an image in there. There's a lamp JPG, and this makes it good to practice pulling things from websites if you haven't got images on your computer you want to use. Obviously you have to be careful of copyright and all that. And then we're just going to put lamp as a note, just so we can, just in case it doesn't work. But as you can see on the left, it's showing a light bulb, so it's found this source on the W3 Schools website. And let's give it a run. So, and there it is. Our light bulb has appeared underneath. So you can pull images from the websites. So let's give that a bit bigger. So let's use the width equals, let's chuck 400 pixels in there. Obviously it goes absolutely blurred, distorted. So let's change that back down to 40, slightly bigger than it was. Depending on what files you use, it depends on how big you can make them, because obviously they get distorted. Now, so that's putting things from another website. So let's chuck another horizontal rule in there. And what you can do is use an image to link to another website. So you can use images for links. So what we're going to do, I'm going to create a paragraph. And in that paragraph I'm going to put a link. And we're going to use the href attribute. Let's just get it to put the thing in, that's it. So inside the anchor tag, we're going to put href attribute, and we're going to, so we want the link to this W3 schools.com website. So we put the anchor in, and then we need to put then the image, and we need to put the attribute, obviously link to what file we're going to use, and we're going to again use the Debree Free Schools website and use their images folder, and we're going to pull out their actual logo, and it's actually debree.html.gif, and again we'll just chuck in the the alt attribute, so we know it's supposed to be Debree schools.com. I'll save it at that stage, and there you go. So on the website you can see that the logo for the Debree Free Schools has appeared. So if I click on this, and then it takes us to the Debree Free Schools website. I'll just come back. So you can link with images as well. I'm just going to make this a bit different, so I'm going to do a whip file. It's a bit smaller, there you go. So that will then, any part of that image you click on will link to whatever you put in as the anchor. So obviously we're putting in an anchor to it to go to the WO3's website. As soon as you click the image, I'll just get rid of that P. Yeah, so you don't have to actually put it in a paragraph. The next bit, we're going to actually be doing a bit more technical now, but work maps are very good also for linking for stuff, especially if you've got different parts of an image that you want to link to different things. So where here we've got the whole image, if you had an image that's got different things in it, say things you sold, then you click that part of the image and it will go to a separate link than the other part of the image. So we're going to this time use the image that has got a bit more in it. So we're going to bring up our lawn mower.pg. So there you go, it's actually put the image there. So you should always include the alt, because even if it works now, there might be something that stops it working another stage. So it's just a habit, I suppose, you should get into. And one of the attributes you can use, so we've got our image and we're putting this lawnmower on the screen, and we've got the alt attribute, got the height, but then we need to tell it what we're going to use a map. So we use the attribute use map, and we're going to hashtag work map. So that's the image tag done. So now we need to create this map. So if I just quickly display this image, so what we're going to do, we're going to capture, if we click on the lawnmower, we want to do something. If we click on, say, the grass, we want to do something different. So we do that by now creating our map, and we need to give it a name attribute, and we've already declared this up in the image where we've declared it as work map. So map, so you don't need a hashtag here, it's just that this is an ID and you need to when you use map attribute, you actually need to tell it it's an ID with the hash key as with other ID attributes, which we may not have used too much yet, but you're down the line. So work map, add a bit of space. So inside this map attribute, we've obviously got an opening and a closing tag. So inside this element, we put the content and we use an area tag. And you can use shapes, and we're going to use the rectangle shape, and we need to give it some coordinates. It can take a while of testing this to figure out these coordinates, but what I did, I just started, and because it will change, I'll show you in a minute, where it will change to a pointer when you run this, so that if this was like changing to a pointer halfway across here, I knew I need to change the coordinates to extend that barrier a bit, and eventually you can get quite close to what you need. So, but these I've actually found, this is what I've done a bit of research, so I know this is going to be quite good. So this is the, so this is the mower. So again, if this doesn't work properly, it will let us know. And then we need a href, and what we'll do we'll go to the google.com website. Okay, so if we run this, as you can see, when I'm hovering around, when I'm inside me triangle bit, so what it is, I've just got the main mower bit. Obviously if I had it too big, you'll be clicking over here for the lawnmower, but the main image is fine for this. But you can do, there are other shapes available that you can do. If we click any side inside the lawnmower, it'll take us to the Google website. Okay, so you can add many areas as you like, but we're just going to go 2 today, and we'll use the shape attribute again, and we'll use the rectangle again, and we're going to chuck in the coordinates, and this time these are the coordinates. If I click the right comma, these are the coordinates for the grass underneath the mower. And again, put the alt attribute in, and then we just need the href, which we'll go to the W3 Schools website. So there's the other area. If we save that, so again it's showing up. We click on this, and then you see where it slightly changes back to the arrow, down a little bit more, and it changes back to this, because this is the area we declared just. So if you click anywhere on that grass as a pointer, it goes to W3 Schools. You just check that if one worked, still goes to Google. So that's a good way as well of linking to different, it can be your own website pages, you know, you can link to different parts of your web page, you can link to information on the internet with different things. I mean, this is a simple basic picture, it's not got a lot in it, unless you're lawn mowing and it was a picture of what you did in someone's garden, and they could click on a tree to see what prices your trees were, what services you offer, the lawnmower for maintenance on your lawnmower, grass to see what grass care you did, and then it linked to that page. So, you know, they can be quite, instead of just having text all the time on your screen, images make it a bit more interesting, as this is starting to show you here. And the image tag is where all this stuff we've done today happens. Okay, so that's the using maps and work maps to link to things. So the last thing I want to show you is pictures. Just sticking a horizontal wall in there. Well, not actually pictures, it's actually the picture tag. Oh. So the picture tag has an opening and closing tag. So in the content we can sort of display, depending on some settings, what we would like, or what picture or image we'd like it to display. In our image file up here, we had landscapes. There's a 300 width, a 400 width, and a 500 width. So there's different size images there. What we're going to do, we're going to use them. Let's start with the image. We can set the default image, and we're going to say, okay, so if we're in a big screen, we want the landscape image GIF, and these are different images, they're not the same image shrunk. These are different images, so we can clearly tell the difference. And then we're just chucking the alt. So this is flower bed image. Now they're all flower bed images, but slightly different. So if I save that, let me scroll down. So it's obviously somewhat broken. Lands. Oh yeah, got to put the. So it's landscape. This is the 400 width image. There you go. That shows up. Click that. So there you go. That's the image there. But say you've changing the size of the screen. So as you get smaller, you obviously don't want this image to be disappearing behind the scroll bar. So what you can do, you can actually say, okay, so if the screen's got a certain size, display a different picture. So to show how this works, so we use then the source, and because this is all linked inside this picture tab, it all works together. So there's actually an attribute called the source set, and what we're going to do, flower bed, oh no, sorry, landscape, what GIF. So there's actually an attribute called the media, and this is to do with screen sizes and stuff. So basically, if the media and the max width is 500 pixels, you want to display the small image, which obviously is this one here. Now, so if the screen gets to a maximum of 500 or below, it's going to display this image. And then we also can do it again for a bit bigger. So let's do the landscape 400. .gif. Media equals, and then we'll say max width again, and let's put in 600. So if it's between 500 and 600 pixels, it's going to display the 400 width landscape image. And then we'll just chuck in one more. Landscape, is it? So the other one was 500 width dot GIF. And if we just go over we'll do that big number because that's so okay. So let's have a look at this working. So what we do, let's save that. I'm going to make this big, and then I'm going to scroll in. Oh. So if I shrink this down, again, you see that change in picture? So it's made this image, and again it's changed again. So it will display the 3 images there. So again, that's good for when you get onto doing websites that obviously different devices. It's very good to get used to doing your website on a big PC with a big screen, but then as you want your business or whatever you're putting out there to be seen on different devices, phones and tablets, you know, you need to design it so that it then changes and uses different things depending on what device you're on. Although I'm showing you this now because we're covering a lot of stuff in this course, you might not be looking at the media side of things until a lot later, but it's just so you know it's there for when you get around to that. And another way you can also use the picture tab is for when landscape and portrait. So if we just create this image tag, SRC, and we'll use the flower landscape image as default .gif, and then we'll chuck the alt equals landscape image. Yeah. We don't need a space there because it won't work. And there you go, it's the landscape image. Quickly show you that. So there you go, boom, that's put in that. Now, again, we can use this source tag because it's inside the picture element. These obviously are combined. So we're going to set the source set to, so we want the flower bed landscape .gif file. Actually, I don't want the alt. Media equals, and then you can use the orientation, and then landscape So what that's basically saying, if the device you're using is in landscape mode, so say your phone, if you've got it normal, you've got it on portrait mode. If you turn your phone to the side, you've got it on landscape mode. So if we just put in the other one, and this is the flower bed portrait dot GIF image media equals, again we use the orientation, and this time it's the port, right, that's not actually right, portrait. Okay, so if we do this, so because our image is shrunk down, it's changed it to the small image. But obviously, I don't know what's going on here. Okay, so just the D8 landscape. Save that again. Okay, so I'll just make it a bit clearer actually if I put just to divide them up. So if we make that large, we obviously get the landscape image. If we shrink the page, we then get the portrait image. That's the wrong one. Before we go to inspect, I'm just going to open this up a bit, just to see it in another way. You see this? This is actually dimensions for a Moto G4. So that displays it in a landscape. If you turn your phone round, it now displays the portrait image. So you can see it can be a useful thing to do once you start to design your web page more for different devices. But depending on if there's a scenario that you want to display a different image, depending on if people have shrunk their screens down or whatever, or they're on smaller devices, you know, you can see you can do some different things with it. It's a bit early in this stage if you just learn HTML for the first time, but it's just important to show you now what's out there and then go into it in more depth and do more research later down the line. So if I just come back out of that. Okay, before we go, I just want to show you one other thing. To do this, I'm just going to delete all of this. I just want to leave that just want to leave the lawnmower. I don't need the map. Okay, so I've just left the image of our lawnmower in the grass. You can use any image you want, but I'm just going to show you captions. There's two tags I'm using. The first one is the figure tag, and there is a closing tag for this. So it's a use an opening and closing. So we'll just cut that and paste them in. There, now just indent this. Okay. Now the figure tag is a container that you should use to put your content, like your illustrations, your diagrams, your photo, your code listings, and it just puts it in like a container. So, and then, so inside the figure element, you can actually use the fig caption, and in its contents you can put information about that picture. So you might have seen something similar to this in a lot of books, websites. So No, I'm just making this up. Doesn't exist. So I'll put a caption in there for the image, and that will group it together within the figure. So figure 1, gardening lawnmower from births. And if I save that, so you can see the figure tab comes with a bit of CSS attached to it, moves it, indents it, but it takes the fig caption with it and puts it under your image in the font that's predetermined. Obviously you can change all this with CSS at that stage, but you've seen these before in loads of things, especially in books. So that's what you do with the figure and the fig caption, just to group a picture with a title. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If I could ask a favour to help support this new channel, that you hit that subscribe button and then select all on the bell for future videos that are coming out. And then I'd appreciate if you also hit the like button. This will help the channel grow, and then I shall carry on doing videos as I know they're being watched and appreciated. And then can you also check out the website that I'm just briefly going to show you. So this is the website that I've created to help with this course. You obviously see it's Birth Creations. I haven't completely finished this website yet, so there's no login or join at the moment, but this is the first course I've created, which is HTML5. And if you scroll down a bit, you'll see future videos coming up and courses that are starting and what's available at the moment. Down in the download section, you'll see that there are some download sheets. And simply for each one, you just click on the download and it will appear up in the corner, and it will download to your PC or laptop or whatever you're using. These are just some PDF documents I've created that go with this course. You've got the category tag sheet that we cover. That's also the tag sheet in alphabetical order, and you've got the tag sheet, attribute sheet to go with the tags. And then the last one is the HTML course file. So at the end of each lesson, the HTML code that we've used is available at the end of each course and lesson we've done. You click the download one, that will download all the different lessons we've covered and the actual on-screen code that I've used to help you follow that. So I hope these are helpful. Leave comments in the videos as well so I can make improvements. Tell me what you think. Hope it's all been easy to follow and I appreciate it. Thanks for watching this video, and I shall see you in the next one. On this course, they are released every Tuesday evening, so hopefully you'll follow along, and clicking that bell will help get notifications of that. So thank you very much, and thank you for watching.